Hi, I'm Mike, PokeTips Mike, and the Isle of Armor is here. And with the Isle of Armor comes 109 returning Pokemon to Pokemon Sword and Shield. Now these Pokemon were all Pokemon that were previously unavailable, meaning you couldn't catch them in-game, or if you had Pokemon Home, you just wouldn't be able to transfer them in. But now with this update, you could transfer them in. So let's hop in game and check out which Pokemon made it. Alright, so first things first, let's take a look at the Kanto Region Pokemon. So Sandshrew and Sandslash both made it into the game, and since they're in the game, that means their Alolan forms made it in as well. Then from there, we have Jigglypuff, Wigglytuff, Psyduck, Golduck, Poliwag, Poliwhirl, and Poliwrath, as well as Abracadabra and Alakazam, and I'm actually surprised that Abracadabra and Alakazam weren't in the base game already. They're pretty iconic Pokemon. Then we have Tentacool and Tentacruel. Hopefully they're not as annoying on the Isle of Armor as they were in previous Pokemon games, but we'll have to see. And the Kanto form of Slowpoke was added to the game as well. I was actually kind of surprised when they added Galar Slowpoke previously, you weren't able to transfer Kanto Slowpoke into the game, but now you can. And obviously that means Kanto Slowbro's in the game as well. Then from there, we have Magnemite, Magneton, Execute, Executor, and Alolan Executor, the weird thing that's somehow supposedly a dragon, Cubone, Marowak, Alolan Marowak, Lickitung, Chansey, Tangela, Kangaskhan, Horsey, Seadra, Staryu, Starmie, Scyther, Pinsir, Tauros, and Porygon. So that brings us to a total of 38 Kanto Pokemon added to the game, including alternate forms. Now for those of us like the Johto region, we didn't get so lucky. A lot less Pokemon were added back. So obviously because Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff made it in, we have to have Igglybuff. Then we have Marill, Azumarill, Politoed, Slowking, Dunsparce, Scizor, one of my favorites, yay, Heracross, Skarmory, Kingdra, Porygon 2, Miltank, and Blissey. That's a total of 13 Johto Pokemon. But if you thought Johto was bad, let's check out Hoenn. So they only added 6 Pokemon from Hoenn back to the game. Whismur, Loudred, Exploud, Azurill, Carvanha, like the car company, and Sharpedo. Here's hoping the Crown Tundra adds a lot more than just 6. Over to Sinnoh, they added back one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, Shinx, as well as its evolutions, Luxio and Luxray, the Bad Bunny Baniri, Lopunny, Happiny, Magnezone, Licky, Tangrowth, and Porygon Z. That's an even 10 Pokemon from Sinnoh. Now down to the Unova region, and I'm gonna apologize here because I'm probably gonna butcher a lot of these names if I haven't been butchering names already. We have Lillipup, Herdeer, Stoutland, Venipede, Whirlipede, Scoliope, Petlil, Lilligant, Sandile, Crocorock, Crocodile, Zora, Zoroark, Emolga, Fungus, Amoongus, Mienfoo, Mienshao, Drudgeon, I don't know how to say that thing at all, Buffalent, Larvesta, and Volcarona. So that's 22 Pokemon from the Unova region, quite a lot, and we also had a lot of Pokemon from Unova in the base game already. On to Gen 6 Kalos, we have Fletchling, which now makes sense because we saw that in the first town in the game, Fletchinder, Talonflame, one of my favorites, Skrelp, Dragalge, Clauncher, Clawitzer, Dedenne, and Klefki. That's 9 Pokemon from Kalos. And last but not least, we have the Alola region. So Rockruff was added back to the game as well as Lycanroc, and since we have Lycanroc, that also means all 3 of its forms were added to the game. Lycanroc Dusk, Midday, and Midnight. Then we have Fomantis, Lurantis, Comfey, Sandygast, Palosand, and both forms of Magearna, the original one and the Pokeball one that you can now get with Pokemon Home if you have a living Pokédex. So with that being said, 109 new Pokemon added to the game. Not bad. In addition to the 30-something that we got back with Pokemon Home when that came out, like some of the starters, some legendaries, and the Pokemon that we had in the base game, it's starting to come together. It's not quite all of the Pokemon ever, but at least we're getting some back. So my friends, down in the comment section, let me know which Pokemon are you the most excited to have back in the game. And also, do remember, you don't need to buy the DLC to actually be able to use these Pokemon. The Isle of Armor will allow you to catch most of these Pokemon on the actual island itself, but if you have these Pokemon from previous games, you could transfer them over with Pokemon Home, or you could find a friend and trade with them to give you the Pokemon that you can't obtain yourself. So with that, my friends, those are all the returning Pokemon now in Pokemon Sword and Shield. We'll get even more when the Crown Tundra comes out later, but down in the comment section, I want to know, what Pokemon are you the most excited to have back in the game? My friends, thanks so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.